My name is Brandon Maloney, and over the past 8 months of training calisthenics, I got from a 10-pound weighted pull-up for 5 reps all the way up to a 100-pound weighted pull-up also for 5 reps. That's a 10x increase, and these are the three most crucial mistakes that a lot of people make when trying to increase their weighted pull-ups. And if you just want to reverse them, you can also kind of call them principles. Now, just to give you a base example, who is going to make more progress just straight up, just using your common sense? Who's going to make more progress? Somebody who pulls up and then goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that kind of pull up with that kind of tempo, or someone who goes up and then down and then repeats? Somebody who doesn't control the lowering part of the movement versus somebody who does. Obviously, the person who doesn't control the lowering part, because they're spending less time doing the movement. So the first mistake is doing too much tempo. You still want to control the movement. You don't just want to like completely free fall and flop. But the thing is, you don't want to control it more than you have to. So in the clip that I showed in the beginning, it's all the way up, all the way down. I'm not specifically controlling the negative. I'm not specifically going slower. I'm not like emphasizing the stretch like a lot of bodybuilders say. If you want to get stronger, you don't train like a bodybuilder. If you want to get stronger, you train like somebody who wants to get stronger. So like a power lifter or somebody who's doing lower rep ranges, because naturally with lower rep ranges, you're going to use less amount of your time focusing on the tempo. So what is your actual rep tempo for doing your weighted pull-ups? All you have to do is you go up as fast as you can, get your chin over, and then go down. That's it. There's no complicated, like 1 or 2 seconds is optimal. Obviously, it's going to be around 1 or 2 seconds because it's a compound movement and there's more joints involved. So when there's more joints involved, it takes longer for your body to stretch out. It takes more effort for your body, or it takes longer for your body to go like this than just extend your arm. So you just want to do the bare minimum on the control aspect and just pull up. If you look at any like professional street lifter as well, if you go on YouTube, open up another tab, you can go to street lifting. If you watch them do reps, they just go up, they go down. That's it. Those are the people who have the strongest weighted pull-ups in the world. So why not just copy them? Next thing, we're training for strength. So what's going to make you stronger? Like let's say you have one set, that's all you have for your training session, and your goal is to go to failure. What's going to make you stronger? Doing a set of 15 or doing a set of 10? What's going to allow you to move more weight? And that's a key to getting stronger. Move more weight. What's going to allow you to move more weight? Obviously, the set of 10. And the reason it's a set of 10 is simply because for a set of 10, when going to failure, you need more weight in order to stop yourself at 10 reps. This is very crucial. A lot of people don't do weighted pull-ups properly because it's a body weight movement. A lot of people who are getting into like weighted pull-ups can probably do anywhere between like 10 and 20 reps. And now they want to add weight to make it more challenging. You can do sets of 6. You can do sets of 5. You can do sets of 3 for pull-ups. There's nothing saying there's anything wrong with that. If you want to build more general strength that's going to apply to multiple movements at once, you do sets of 10, sets of 8, things like that, because it's not super specific. Kind of how your body works is anything less than like 5 reps, let's say, will train more neural adaptation. So it's not going to build as much muscle, but it's going to train your body to be more efficient at that movement, which basically means if I throw a football a ton, I'm going to get better at throwing a football. If you train heavy pull-ups a ton, you're going to get really good at training heavy pull-ups. If you do more reps, so that's kind of like you throw a football, but you also like play baseball, you're doing more, but it's not going to make you as good specifically at throwing a football if you throw both a football and a baseball, but it will make you better at throwing overall. So you can take a different object and that'll transfer better. Higher reps in between like 7 and 10, 6 and 10 will build you a better base. It's going to build more muscle. It's going to allow you to train more things at once. Anything less than sets of 5 are going to train the skill more specifically. So that's going to make your 1 rep max stronger than a set of 10. You can do the endurance aspect. I had to look at my script because there was a specific bullet point I wanted to go over. You can do sets of 10 in order to, or more than sets of 10, in order to kind of rehabilitate yourself if you're injured, if you've been training super heavy for a long time, just to get blood flow, just to keep your joints healthy, because doing sets of less than 10 will at some point damage your joints, your connective tissue, and it might honestly hurt a little bit to keep doing those movements within that rep range. So what you can do is you can do sets of 12, you can do sets of 15. That also is an example when you can control your tempo. If you look up Perry Cole, he's I believe French street lifter who is very famous for doing a lot of tempo work after a competition. So let's say he pulls 120 kilograms. It's like roughly 250 pounds. He pulls that. That's a lot of weight. That's his absolute max. And to compensate for that, he lets his joints recover. He lets his tendons recover from all the weeks of heavy training he did before. So he'll still do like sets of 10, sets of 8, but he'll have a 3-second negative. So he'll go up and then he'll go 1, 2, 3, down. In that instance, using tempo is fine. Doing more than 10 reps is fine. You can kind of just pick one. When you're doing higher reps for recovery, there still is a risk of you lowering too quickly, because this sudden pull, like if you lower and you notice yourself, especially with people who are really good at muscle ups, they're pull over and then they're kind of like do this kind of thing and their body like sags, and it they go from moving quick to an instant stop because they're stopping themselves from moving so they can do the next rep, or they use some kind of like stretch reflex, which is basically like if you have a rubber band and you pull it, that's about what your muscles do. You pull the rubber band, they come together. The stretch reflex can help you get more reps. But if you're using higher rep ranges, if you're doing that for recovery, it's probably better to use tempo work instead. So higher reps, more blood flow. Tempo work is more recovery. So think about that. You can add that to your training if you've been training heavy for a long time, or you can just do it like a couple months out of the year, like I do. About like 2 months out of the year, that's when I will train my more tempo work, my higher rep work, and it lets my joints recover, lets my tendons recover. Just all in all, just good. Next thing, I'm going to give another example of a different sport just so you can understand it better. When you see professional strongman deadlift, not powerlifting because it's not allowed, but when you see professional strongman deadlift, a lot of times you'll notice like as they pull the bar up to themselves, or kind of do this thing with their hips. So like the bar is going up and they land it on their knees, but they can't pull it up any higher. They will get their knees under the bar, kind of like do a weird squat thing and then reset and then pull when the bar's higher up on them. That's called hitching. That's technically cheating, but you're still getting the weight up, so it counts. If you want to apply this to calisthenics, don't do this weird, like keep your back arch, squeeze your shoulder blades together, chest to bar, up, down, up, down. Even if you're doing the other things I said before, if you're doing lower rep ranges, you're not using too much tempo. Because if you do it like that to where you're targeting the lats, which is what a lot of bodybuilders like to say it is when they comment on like street lifters having bad form, they say they're not doing it for the lats. You're not doing pull-ups for the lats, or doing pull-ups. So you can either transfer it to skills or you can just get a stronger pull-up. Those are the two reasons you would want to get a stronger pull-up, unless you're doing it for bodybuilding purposes, in which case you can just get rid of everything I've told you in this entire video. All you need to do is go all the way up, go all the way down, and the number one tip I can give you, because a lot of people still hear that and they'll pull like this and it'll be straight up, straight down. You're not pulling like that. You kind of pull in an arch. So instead of just straight up, you pull arched, and then it's like a quick line to the bar. So in the video that I showed at the beginning, again, you'll see I pull and then I'll come in. So I'll bring my elbows apart. I'll bring my shoulder blades together, kind of like if you're doing a row and you shrug your shoulders back. It's a similar movement. This is going to allow you to move the maximum amount of weight. If you look at 10 videos of street lifters doing pull-ups, they all look about the same. Some of them have a more exaggerated pull. Some of them it's more smooth, but they all still have that pull at the top, because that's the thing that is most mechanically advantageous, which basically just means your body's can move best when that way. You don't want to pin your shoulder blades down. You don't need to like have your back in a certain way or arch. Those are all micro adjustments that you can make as you get better. But for the large majority of people, you don't need to do that, because I'm assuming if you clicked on this, you're struggling with body weight reps. You're not struggling with, or even if you're doing 25 pounds, 50 pounds on weighted pull-ups, your issue most likely is not your technique. And if it is, then follow these points and don't adjust it past that point. Still, all you have to do, all the way up, all the way down, don't control the tempo too much. You still want to lower with some control, but you don't need to do this tempo stuff where it's like 2, 3, 4, because you're not going to get nearly as strong as if you didn't. If you found this helpful, and I imagine you did because you stayed all the way to the end, and if you did find this helpful, then in just this 10 minutes, imagine what I can do by teaching you for several hours. I have a community link in description, GUO Calisthenics. Um, Basically, I'll be releasing courses, and if you join at the point of this video going out, so this is on March 1st, I believe, 2025. If you join before my GUO strength system is out, you will get it for free. It's hours and hours of me talking just about calisthenics, how to train, different programs, different whatever. Everything will be laid out for you in a PDF format. Also, I'm going to be releasing my skills principles course, which is also going to be available to you on how you can achieve your first calisthenics skill. My name is Brennan. Hope to see you in the community. First link in the description.